always, prior to the introductions of this afternoon's starting lineups, we ask you to please rise as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. And at this time, let's introduce this afternoon's starting lineups. First, for the Foresters of Huntington University. At one guard spot, a junior, number 2, Peyton West. At the other guard spot, a sophomore, number 12, Zach Goodline. At one forward spot, number 3, Ben Humrickus. And at the other forward spot, number 4, Caleb Middlesworth. Rounding out the lineup in the middle, number 11, Hank Palmer. The Foresters are coached by Mr. Corey Alford. And now the starting lineup for your Fighting Saints. At one guard spot, a 6'1" senior from Portland, Oregon, number 1, Russell Tillery. At the other guard spot, a 5'10" senior from Taiwan, number 3, Eric Ting. At one forward spot, a 6'3" junior from Frankfort, Illinois, number 23, Joey Puchemi. And at the other forward spot, a 6'4" junior from Macomb, Illinois, number 32, Carter Fahey. Rounding out the starting lineup in the middle for the Saints, a 6'5" senior from Sydney, Australia, number 13, Lewis Holy. Fighting Saints are coached by Mr. Ryan Marks.
Good afternoon from Joliet, Illinois, on the campus of the University of St. Francis, where the Fighting Saints today host the Huntington University Foresters. In a non-conference matchup, Terry Bonadonna here with you for the call of today's game. Both teams come in with 2 losses today. St. Francis 4 wins to their 2 losses. Huntington comes in at 8-2, playing their 11th game of the season. Saints are on the floor wearing white. Huntington is in forest green. St. Francis will be going from right to left here in the first half. It's Lewis Holy against Ben Humrickhouse on the opening tip. And we're ready to get things started here. The tip is won by the Foresters, and they start things off going left to right. Peyton West passes back to Zach Goodline, the team's leading scorer, gets the possession going. Shoveled outside, 3-point attempt is good from Caleb Middlesworth. And Huntington is off to a good start, striking first with a three-pointer. It's a high-scoring Huntington team. Both teams will spread the ball around quite a bit as we've got a foul called. Joey Bajemi down in the corner, fouled by Ben Humrickhouse. Huntington has 5 different players averaging in double figures. So there's nobody that you can take your eyes off of on the offensive end. There's Carter Fahey receiving the ball on the left elbow. Fahey's making his first start of the season. Picks up his dribble, fires a long deuce, and knocks it down. He was looking for Eric Ting on the cut. 2 defenders both followed Ting, and that left Fahey all alone for an easy jumper. First 2 points of the game for St. Francis. Here's a 3 ball that misses from Ben Humrickhouse. The rebound is grabbed by the Saints, nearly taken away by Huntington, but Eric Ting is able to persist for the Fighting Saints. Ting works his way inside and floats it off the glass and in. St. Francis has their first lead of the game at 4-3. Eric Ting has been St. Francis' best scorer the last couple of games as Peyton West is freed up around the screen all alone for a layup. And Huntington is back in front as the 2 sides trade baskets early in this game. Here's Lewis Holy just inside the 3-point arc. Given up to Ting. Ting steps into a 3-pointer. It's good. Eric Ting's got an early 5 for the Fighting Saints. They've scored 7 of the game's last 9 points. Outside, Hank Pulver thought about the 3. Instead, he drives and dunks, and we're tied. Nice fake by Hank Pulver. Freed himself up for the easy bucket down low. Eric Ting on the left side. Ting fires it across court. Fahey there on the catch. Peyton West closes in defensively. And the Saints reset it at the top. This is Tillery. Up to Ting. Ting drives. Another leaner from Ting is good. He's 3 of 3 from the field to start things off here, and Eric Ting has a quick 7 points. His team's got 9 and a 2-point lead. Here's West. Peyton West dribbles to the left. Kicks it outside. 3-pointer for Humrickhouse is good. Caleb Middlesworth knocks down the 3. And Middlesworth puts Huntington back in front. Back and forth we go early in this one. A lot of offense. Already 19 points scored combined, and we're not even 3 minutes in. This is Ting spinning around the defender. Ting gets to the basket, lays it up, and this time comes up short. First miss of the game for Ting. First miss of the game for the Saints. They trail by 1 as Huntington claims possession. This is Zach Goodline. Middlesworth on the drive. Middlesworth puts it up and in. And Caleb Middlesworth is off to a big start. He's got 8 points already in this game. He and Eric Ting going toe-to-toe early on. Holy with his back to the basket. Stripped from behind by Peyton West and taken away by the Foresters. Now it's 3-on-2. West lobs it down low. The alley-oop is blocked by Lewis Holy. Fahey falls to the ground, keeps his dribble, and gives it up to Holy. Huge defensive play from Holy. It looked like an easy bucket for the Foresters, and instead the Saints have possession as Eric Ting is pushed along the baseline. A defensive foul on Huntington. It's the team's second. It's Zach Goodline's first, and Goodline quickly grabs a seat on the bench as we've got our first substitute of the game. Joel Dyer, freshman from Australia, checks in. Ting is the inbounder. He gives it to the Saints resident Australian, Lewis Holy. Fahey bounces over to Holy. Holy finds Fahey all alone from 3-point range, and Fahey misses a little bit short. So the Saints have suddenly gone cold, missing their last couple of shots after they connected on their first 4 of the day. Just under 4 minutes, or just over 4 minutes gone, I should say, in the first half. 3-point attempt from Middlesworth is good. Wow, Caleb Middlesworth is on fire to start today's game. He's got 11 of the Foresters' 15 points. Outscoring St. Francis all by himself. Here's Joey Bajemi's first field goal attempt of the game. He misses the 3-pointer, and the rebound is grabbed by Peyton West. West gives it back to Middlesworth. Saints will watch him closely. West gets it back. West drives, kicks. Here's Pulver up with a left hand and in. Huntington's not missing anything right now. Shooting lights out to start the game. Eric Ting passes to Fahey on the left side. 8-point lead for Huntington. Bujemi in the corner, step back, two-pointer. Comes up short, battle for the rebound, won by Huntington, and grabbed by Joel Dyer. Dyer kicks it to Pulver on the right side. Down low, this is Middlesworth. Middlesworth blocked by Holy. Holy trying to keep it in bounds, and he does to Fahey. Great defense, great rebound for Holy, but the Saints give it up as Fahey mishandled it, and he's called for the carry. Good defensive stand for the Saints, but they turn it over quickly on the offensive side. They trail by 8. 14 minutes, 50 seconds remain in the game, in the first half, that is. And substitutes come on for both sides. St. Francis calls on E.J. Charles and DeAndre Johnson, and Huntington calls timeout. So 5 minutes, 10 seconds into the game, we've got a slight break in the action. To start this one, it was a back-and-forth battle between the Saints' Eric Ting and the Foresters' Caleb Middlesworth. Middlesworth has scored 11 points already. Ting has 7 for the Saints, but Huntington has gone on a 10-0 run here to open up a bit of a lead. Foresters have been nigh perfect from the field thus far, so the Saints have their work cut out for them defensively. And this is a Huntington team that has a lot of guys who can beat you, especially in that starting lineup. Not a whole lot of depth on the team, but it's a young core and a group of guys who all shoot the ball pretty well. Caleb Middlesworth is a 17-point per game scorer, so he's more than halfway to his total already. Zach Goodline leads the team at 18 points per game, and as a team, the Foresters score 82 points per game. They shoot the ball around 50% on the season, so not an enormous surprise that they've been hot from the field to start things off today. Tillery and Ting, the dynamic backcourt for the Fighting Saints, return to the floor with DeAndre Johnson, E.J. Charles, and Joey Bujemi. Huntington inbounds out of the timeout. They've got a few new guys out there. Spencer Bollinger is in, and Peyton West, one of the starters still on the floor, is the one who connects from right underneath the hoop. Second bucket of the game for West. He's got 4 points, and now a steal as he knocks it away. West lobs it ahead for Pulver, and Pulver lays it in. And now a timeout is called by St. Francis. The 30-second timeout, just 21 seconds after our last timeout. Huntington has scored 4 more points, and they've now got a 14-0 run and a 12-point lead. Things are not going the way that Ryan Marks wants right now as he calls his team over to the sideline. Huntington 8-2 on the season. Their only 2 losses, one of them came against a top 5 opponent. The other one came in the final seconds. A buzzer beater knocked them out by 1 point. So they are very close to being a 9-1 team, with that one loss then being against the top 5 opponent. So 8-2 is a good record, but you dig a little deeper into that record and you see they may have been even a little bit more impressive than that shows. They've been very impressive so far this afternoon. 9 of 12 from the field to start things off. E.J. Charles inbounds to Eric Ting, and away we go once again. Both teams are down 1 timeout. Tillery up to Charles. Here's Eric Ting on the left wing. He's guarded by Spencer Bollinger. Ting drives. Ting in traffic, draws the foul. Well, that right there was just Eric Ting forcing the issue. He's been the best offensive player so far in this game for the Fighting Saints. And with nothing much falling the last few minutes for St. Francis, Ting decided to take matters into his own hands and just force his way to the basket. He ends up getting to the foul line where he'll shoot 2. Ting misses on the first free throw attempt. He's an 81% foul shooter, doesn't miss a lot. Unsuccessful on that right there, though, as the Saints go back to the bench. Carlos Tobias and Rehana Maxwell Topia check in. So Ting is the only starter still on the floor, and he makes 1 of 2 from the line. He's got 8 of St. Francis's 10 points. Huntington more than doubling up the Saints so far. Here's Bollinger passing to the right side. Dyer for 3. It's good. Joel Dyer hits on the 3. They've missed just once from the outside so far today. And the lead is 14, a game high for the Foresters. Ting tries to answer, and he does. Eric Ting hits his second three-pointer of the game. He's got 11 of St. Francis's 13 points. Huntington moves it around the perimeter on the left side. This is Ben Humrickhouse. Humrickhouse drives inside. He's tripped up, and he's traveled. Ben Humrickhouse called for the travel, got his feet tangled up, and fell to the ground, and it's a turnover. Saints call to their bench and bring in Nadav Gerner, a freshman from Israel. Eric Ting takes his 11 points with him to the bench. Actually, they're still on the scoreboard. They don't go with him. Maxwell Topia in low to Johnson. DeAndre Johnson working in the post against Bollinger. Goes up with the right hand, comes up short, grabs his own rebound. Johnson, one bounce, kicks it back outside. And they give it right back into Johnson. Johnson double team now. He's fouled. DeAndre Johnson working hard in the post. And give credit to Spencer Bollinger. He held his own. Johnson's got some size on him. A couple of inches, about 10 pounds. Johnson, a hard worker in the post, but stood up there. He did draw the foul, so the Saints reset the possession. This is Gerner picking up his dribble, bouncing to Johnson again, and this time Johnson is called for the travel. Leaned forward with the left foot and dragged the pivot behind him. So a lot of action on that possession, but nothing comes of it for St. Francis as they turn it over. And Huntington takes the ball up by 11 with just under 13 minutes to play in the first half. Here's Zach Goodline kicking it outside. Middlesworth for 3, and he hits another. Caleb Middlesworth spent a couple of minutes on the bench, but he comes back in and picks up right where he left off. 14 points for Middlesworth, and that's the lead for Huntington. Here is E.J. Charles. Charles squares up, faces the basket. Off the back iron, no. Peyton West was towing the line, and he steps on it out of bounds. West tried to grab that rebound, and his tippy toes were just barely on that line. He said he was pushed. The officials disagreed. Saints ball. Gerner bounces it into Charles. Charles backs in on Middlesworth. Fadeaway is good. Gets the roll from the rim. First 2 points of the game for E.J. Charles, who went scoreless for the first time this year, and the Saints lost to St. Ambrose earlier this week. 3-ball misses short this time from Middlesworth. Finally a miss from junior forward Caleb Middlesworth. And now the Saints can turn it into points on their side of the floor. It's Nadav Gerner giving it to Johnson, handed right back to Gerner. Gerner drives, fakes, and now gives it to the cutting Charles, who flushes with 2 hands. Beautiful drive right there from Nadav Gerner. And Charles cut from the backside. Good find and a strong finish. There's a foul on Charles. 4 straight points for St. Francis. They have not been able to come up with stops consistently. Huntington has been scoring at will early in this game. So the fact that they were able to get a stop on the last possession and sandwich that between a couple of buckets gives them some momentum. But now Huntington gets the foul called, and E.J. Charles strips the ball away from Spencer Bollinger. Charles comes up with the steal. Here come the Saints. It's Charles driving, stripped, and off of Huntington. Saints basketball, 11:23 to go. First half, 23 on the shot clock. Gerner is the inbounder. Into DeAndre Johnson, handed right back to the freshman point guard. Gerner bounces down low for Johnson. Johnson gives it up to Charles, who dunks it again. And a timeout is called, 27-19. St. Francis trails Huntington, or no timeout called, sorry. There's a stoppage for substitutions, but no timeout with 11:11 on the clock. Saints have scored 6 consecutive points. E.J. Charles has been the big performer during that time. Some great movement without the ball for E.J. Charles. And it's Middlesworth at the top. Middlesworth's three-pointer rims out. Charles grabs the rebound. Here's Tobias firing ahead for Maxwell Topia. Rehana Maxwell Topia tries to lay it in. He misses, grabs his own rebound, and gets it out to Gerner. Gerner over to Tobias on the right side. 3-ball, got it. And the Saints are on a roll here. 9-0 run for St. Francis. And they are within 5. We've got a basketball game here with 10.5 minutes to play in the half. Fast-paced action at the Sullivan Center. This is Middlesworth fighting against Johnson. He throws it up wildly and misses. Charles takes it the other way. He loses control and has to slow it down. He needs some help. There's Johnson. Back to Charles. Long 2 for E.J. Charles. This one rolls out. And for the first time in a while, the Saints come up empty on an offensive possession. Here is Zach Goodline. Goodline dribbles to the right. Back up top and around to the left side. Mitchell Wilson. Lob down low for Middlesworth. Goodline puts the ball on the floor, gets inside, comes up short on the layup, but a late whistle and a foul called on Nadav Gerner. 9:53 to go in a high-scoring first half. Foresters by 5 over the Saints. And Goodline is at the line for 2 free throws. Just the second foul on St. Francis here in the first half. It's the first on Gerner. Zach Goodline makes the first free throw. That snaps a 9-0 St. Francis run that cut a 14-point deficit down to 5. Back to 6 now with one more free throw coming up. Substitutes for St. Francis. Carter Fahey returns to the floor as Goodline makes the second free throw. Fahey is joined by Aitor Anabadarte. Here's Gerner. Gerner lobs it off for Fahey in the corner. Nearly stepped on the line, but he's able to stay in bounds. 15 on the shot clock for Fahey. Bounces down low for Anabadarte. Freshman from Spain is fouled from behind while he goes up for the layup, and he'll get 2 free throws. First foul on Hank Pulver, the 5th on the team. Anabadarte gets his 3rd and 4th free throw attempts of the season, and he makes one for the first time this year. Now 1 of 3 from the line. One more shot coming. It rims out. So he makes 1 of 2. It's a 6-point game with 9.5 minutes to play in the half. Goodline gets across the timeline and bounces to Pulver on the left side. Pulver runs right into Carter Fahey, and Fahey is called for the foul. First foul on Fahey. It's just the 3rd on the team. Second straight possession in which they've committed one. And Mitchell Wilson will be the inbounder. Here's Goodline. Goodline drives to the right. Stripped by Anabadarte and taken away. Aitor Anabadarte going one-on-one with Pulver. Lays it up, misses. Fahey is there with the follow. The defense closes in, and he has to back it out. Carter Fahey steps back, thought about the 3, instead gives it to Tobias. He steps into a long 2-pointer and knocks it down. Carlos Tobias has 5 points for St. Francis, and they're down by only 4. This is as close as it's been since it was 12-9. 3-pointer for Wilson, and Wilson expands that Huntington lead. First 3 points of the game for Mitchell Wilson, who scores about 3 per game. Very good shooter from the outside. Maxwell Topia on the left wing. Up top for Tobias, and Tobias backs it up. Just 10 seconds still to shoot for Nadav Gerner. Gerner works his way into a double team, throws it away nearly. Tobias tracks down a loose ball. Now with the shot clock expiring, Maxwell Topia puts it up and in. Just spun in from underneath. A broken play but they're able to piece it together at the end. Big bucket for St. Francis. Good line for three. A long ways out. He misses it long. The rebound tracked down by Fahey. Carter Fahey works his way inside, now kicks it out to nobody. It's out of bounds. He was looking for Aitor Anabadarte, and Anabadarte started to crash, I think, for the rebound, looking at Fahey to shoot there. And was not in position to receive that pass. So the Saints turn it over. We haven't seen a ton of turnovers here in the first half. It's been a pretty cleanly played game. A lot of offense between these two sides early on. Here's Peyton West. West works to the left, drives, dishes last second, and Wyatt Hughes puts it up and in. First points for Wyatt Hughes. Freed up on the drive from Peyton West. And the lead is back up to 7 for Huntington. Here's Gerner. Gerner bounces down low to Anabadarte, who's there to bank it in. Good possession for the Fighting Saints. Nadav Gerner doing a very nice job distributing here in the first half. Here's Hughes. Top of the key, long two-point jumper is good. Wyatt Hughes has the last 4 points for Huntington. Hughes entered play today, having scored just 15 points in 10 games this year. Here's Anabadarte in the post. Turns to face the basket, working against Hughes. He picks up his dribble and throws it right into the waiting hands of Peyton West to steal. Here's Wilson for three. Wilson misses on the three-pointer, and Hughes comes in, committing the loose ball foul. 6:18 to play in the first half. Foresters lead the Saints by 7 points, and St. Francis goes to the bench. They bring in a couple of starters, Joey Bajemi and Russell Tillery. Quiet start for both of them today. Tillery has scored 30 points in his last 2 games. Bajemi is the team's leading scorer at nearly 14 per game this year. Neither of them have put the ball in the basket yet today, and they won't get a chance on this possession as it's deflected out of bounds. Last touched by St. Francis. It's a turnover. Huntington ball with the lead and with just about 6 minutes to play in the first half. Clock didn't run right there, so they'll restart the possession. As soon as the clock resets to 6:07. There we go. Here's Peyton West. West across half court, passes to the left. Inside the three-point arc, it's Pulver. West drives down the lane, kicked outside. Three-point attempt is no good from Hummerkaus. Rebound grabbed by Fahey. Fahey pushes down the floor, an aggressive pass. And Hummerkaus deflects it out of bounds. He was looking for Bujemi. Ends up going out of bounds. Caleb Middlesworth back in for Huntington. He's got a game-high 14 points in this first half. Eric Ting is getting set to come back in for St. Francis. He leads them in scoring. 11 points for Ting. In fact, at the time that he checked out, Ting had 11 of his team's 13 points. With him on the bench, the reserves got going, and they've added 16 to the total. Fahey adds 3 more. Carter Fahey from the outside knocks down his second bucket of the afternoon. 5 points for Fahey. Dyer along the baseline. Kicked out to Middlesworth. Middlesworth responds with a 3 of his own. Caleb Middlesworth has 17 points already in this game. Tillery to Fahey. Fahey drives with the left hand, now stops, turns around, up with the right, misses, and it's rebounded by Pulver. Dyer on the other end, backs it off. Here's Peyton West. West shovels it off to Middlesworth. Middlesworth drives. Middlesworth gets contacted, and that's a foul. Aitor Anabadarte got him on the arm. It's going to be his first foul, and it'll send the high-scoring Caleb Middlesworth back to the free throw line. No, they're going to call this one on the floor. So no free throws for Middlesworth, just the fourth foul on the Saints. Dyer carried it and turned it over. Saints basketball with a 7-point deficit. Here's Eric Ting finding Bajemi, right back to Ting. Ting has been holding it. Now he finally drives. Kicks it out to Fahey. Carter Fahey for three. Air ball. Rebound. Anabadarte. The freshman puts it back up and in. Second chance points for the Fighting Saints. Been a big part of their offense this year. They've been out rebounded only one time in their first 6 contests. Dyer drives around Ting. An easy layup.
Joel Dyer.
Saints have gotten things going on the offensive end. Just no answer right now for this balanced Huntington attack. Every possession it seems like Foresters are finding an open shot somewhere. Tillery spins into the paint, loses the ball. Anabadarte there to clean it up. Aitor Anabadarte has the last 4 for St. Francis. He's got 7. Fahey over to Ting on the right wing. Eric Ting gives it up top to Joey Bajemi. 17 on the shot clock. Ting on the right side. Eric Ting slows things down and walks it back towards the half-court logo. Now bounce to Aitor Anabadarte. Anabadarte just inside the three-point line. Out to Ting. 6 to shoot. Eric Ting works his way inside. Out to an open shooter. Tillery for 3. Missed it. Rebound won by Hank Pulver. And Huntington comes away with it. Down low, the reverse layup misses from Ben Humrickhouse. Good ball movement by the Foresters. Just couldn't quite finish. Joey Bajemi for 3. He missed it. Bajemi 0 for 2 from three-point range. Typically an excellent three-point shooter for St. Francis this year. He puts them in at 50% from the outside. Final 2.5 minutes of the half. It's West guarded by Tillery down low. West, turnaround jumper. Off the back iron, offensive rebound, second chance Humrickhouse is good. Ben Humrickhouse has his first 2 points, and it's a 9-point game. Saints have been within 4 after trailing by as many as 14. Anabadarte is fouled by a Humrickhouse who swatted at his arm. 2:01 on the clock. Saints are in the bonus. E.J. Charles checks in for Carter Fahey. DeAndre Johnson at the scorer's table as well. He'll come in for Anabadarte. Next chance he gets is St. Francis calls a timeout. They trail by 9, 2:01 to play, first half. The first half has belonged to Huntington, although their offense has slowed down a little bit. They're still on pace for over 100 points in this game, and the fact that they're shooting 62% from the field has been the big reason why. They're 7 of 13 from beyond the three-point arc. This is the St. Francis team that does not give up three-point shots. Opponents this season are shooting just 23% on three-pointers against the Saints this year. And that defensive number is among the best in the nation. But today, Huntington has been knocking them down with regularity. They've already made 7 three-pointers in this game. Opponents against St. Francis this year have averaged to hit just 3 three-pointers per 40 minutes. This has only been 18 minutes. 1-1 from the line for Anabadarte as we come out of the timeout. Front end is good. He'll get one more. Big first half for Aitor Anabadarte. Saints reserve center entered play today averaging about 2 points per game. And with that free throw, he's now got 9 in the first half. He checks out. DeAndre Johnson comes in. Under 2 minutes to play in the first half. Huntington has the lead, but the way scoring has gone in this game, no lead is too safe here in the first half. Nice move down low from Spencer Bollinger, but he can't finish. Here's Ting. Ting drives right side, pulls up from 13 feet out, and misses the jumper. The rebound grabbed by Spencer Bollinger. Huntington has a 7-point lead with a minute and a half to play in the half. Here's Middlesworth. Middlesworth's had a huge first half. He's been quiet the last few minutes, though. Peyton West gives it up to Dyer, who nearly lost it out of bounds. Back to West, 7 on the shot clock. West down the lane, kicks it into the corner. Open shooter, Bollinger passes on the shot instead, drives, lays it in as the shot clock expires. Turns out to be a great possession for Huntington, and they lead by 9. Under a minute to go in the half. Ting finds Tillery. Tillery still scoreless in the game. Tillery up to Bajemi. 10 to shoot here for Joey Bajemi. He finds DeAndre Johnson outside. Johnson hands it to Eric Ting. Ting running out of time here. Ting kicks it into the corner. Charles at the buzzer, misses. Offensive rebound. Johnson back up and in with a foul.
Count the basket for DeAndre Johnson.
With the shot clock running out, St. Francis is able to get a shot off. Not the shot that they typically would want. E.J. Charles from the outside, but it at least kept the possession alive and allowed Johnson to grab the offensive rebound and bring it home for 2 more points and make it 3 as he hits on the free throw. Timeout called by Huntington, 29.9 seconds on the first half clock. It's a 30-second timeout. And their first-year head coach, Corey Alford, just wants to draw up a play right now with the shot clock off to make sure that Huntington scores the final points before halftime. If this is the score at halftime, I think in some ways you consider it a victory for the Fighting Saints. Obviously, Huntington has the lead, so they would consider that a victory on their part. But the Saints were down at one point 27-13, and the Foresters were threatening to put up a big first half number. And the Saints were able to weather that storm. And now you'd figure worst case scenario, they'll still be down by single digits heading into the second half. But if that number is just 6 going into halftime, I think the Fighting Saints would feel pretty solid about where they stand in this game. It is Huntington basketball here. The Saints decide to put on a full court press. Huntington's got to step up and defend this now. West bounces to Bollinger, and they are able to break the press. Good line. Slows it down across the timeline. They'll run the clock down presumably under 10 seconds before making another move. Peyton West on the outside, guarded loosely by Nadav Gerner. The clock is at 12, and now he passes to Goodline. We are under 10 seconds as Goodline fires underneath for West. West misses the layup. Rebound St. Francis. They've got 4 seconds here. E.J. Charles takes a dribble into the corner. Three-pointer, no. That would have made it a one-possession game going into the second half. As it is, Saints do a good job of hanging in there after a sluggish start. And at halftime, they trail by just 6 points. Huntington 47, St. Francis 41. We've got 15 minutes on the clock for halftime, but at the end of that clock, we'll be back with some first half stats, second half preview, and then, of course, the second half action. So don't go anywhere. I'll be back with you in a little bit. 47-41, Huntington at halftime. It's halftime at St. Francis, but not for long. We're about a minute and a half away from starting up half number 2. Fighting Saints trail Huntington University from Huntington, Indiana, 47-41. Terry Bonadonna with you for another 20 minutes of basketball. And first half was certainly an interesting one. The two teams traded baskets to start things off, and then Huntington went on a big run. They opened up a 14-point lead at 27-13. The Saints called on their bench, and their bench got hot. In fact, 25 of their 41 first half points came from reserves. They were able to keep the game close, so they're down by just 6 at halftime. Your leading scorers for Huntington, Caleb Middlesworth, 17 points on 6 of 10 shooting, including 5 of 7 on 3-pointers. Eric Ting leads the way for St. Francis, 11 points on 4 of 6 from the field. He scored 11 of the Saints' first 13 points before going quiet the rest of the half. For Huntington, Hank Pulver's got 5 rebounds. Peyton West, 7 assists already in today's game. In fact, Huntington has assisted on 13 of their 19 baskets. As for St. Francis, rebounds have kept them in this game. They're out-rebounding Huntington 17-12. That includes 5 offensive rebounds, and they are outscoring Huntington 10-2 on second chance points. So rebounding has been a big key for St. Francis all year. Huntington, that is not one of their strong suits, and it showed in the game today. Saints have kept themselves in it with those numbers, but both teams have shot the ball really well. And we'll see if that keeps up in the second half. St. Francis 50% from the field, Huntington 59%. Forrester's almost as good from three-point range at 54%. So that's what the Saints have to watch out for. One of the best three-point defenses in the nation. They'll try to shut down this Forrester's attack in the second half. Saints get the first possession. It's Carter Fahey, who had 5 points in the first half, handing it off to Eric Ting. Ting working against Hank Pulver, kicks it out to Fahey. Fahey pulls it all the way out to the top. Here's Lewis Holy handing it to Fahey. Fahey with 6 on the shot clock, pulls up from the baseline. His jump shot missed. Peyton West may have gotten his hand on that one. Good defensive stand for the Foresters to start this second half. Here's Zach Goodline. Very quiet first half for Goodline. Gives it up to Middlesworth. Very loud first half for Middlesworth, but he misses on his first shot of the second. And here come the Saints. Fired inside from Ting to Holy, and Lewis Holy lays it in. First 2 points of the game for Holy. It's the first assist of the game for Eric Ting, who is the team's leader in that category. Middlesworth all alone underneath the basket, and an easy lay-in. 19 for Caleb Middlesworth, who came in averaging 17 points per game. That was second best on the team. Zach Goodline averages 18 points per game, but Goodline has just 2 points on 0 of 1 shooting. Holy down low, tries to bank it in, and does over Caleb Middlesworth. There's a weapon we haven't seen utilized quite as much this year as the last couple. Lewis Holy in the post. But Holy is waking up here in the second half, 4 points already. Middlesworth answers on the other end.
Caleb Middlesworth from Goodline.
21 for Caleb Middlesworth. His team leads by 6. Here's Lewis Holy. Holy gives it to Fahey. Fahey drives, picks it up. In traffic, throws up a wild one and misses. Rebounded by the Foresters. Here comes Peyton West. West gives it back to Goodline. Wanted that deep shot. Ting closed in a little bit too quickly. There's Hummerkaus on the floater. First points of the game for Hummerkaus. And the lead is back up to 8 for the Foresters. Excuse me, that was second field goal of the game for Hummerkaus. He's got 4 points. Here's Eric Ting on the right side. Ting works his way in and now out to Joey Bujemi. Bujemi pulls up just inside the free throw line and doesn't quite get the roll. Nothing's fallen today for the Saints' leading scorer, Joey Bujemi. Middlesworth is called for the travel. As soon as that whistle blew, Lewis Holy stuck his hand out. He definitely bumped him along the baseline, and Holy caught a break, and that the travel came before the foul. It's a turnover, 8th one of the game for Huntington. Here's Joey Bujemi on the outside. Bounce to Fahey. Fahey dribbles once and gives it up to Bujemi, 13 to shoot. Lobbed off to Russell Tillery. Now down low to Holy. Holy is double teamed. Holy gets around the double team. Nice fake, and he lays it in. Great ball work there by Lewis Holy, who's got 6 points in the second half after not scoring in the first. He's got the first 6 points of the half for St. Francis. Eric Ting is called for the foul, using the body on Zach Goodline. It was a 6-point game at halftime, still a 6-point game now as each team has scored 6 points in the second half. 16:31 to play in the game. Carter Fahey checks out. E.J. Charles is back in. Charles had a nice run in the first half. Played 7 minutes and scored 6 points. Goodline working against Ting. Fires it out to Wyatt Hughes. Hughes can't receive that pass as Holy deflects it into the hands of Joey Bujemi. Great defense by the Saints. Eric Ting wanted the three. Goodline got there too quickly. Ting on the outside, drives. Ting fires it down low to Holy, who gives it to Charles. And the Saints pull it back out and reset. Here's Russell Tillery on the drive and kick out to Charles. E.J. Charles loses it out of bounds, and last touch by Huntington. Ten on the shot clock, still Saints basketball here. And Eric Ting will inbound from the sideline. There's Joey Bujemi receiving the pass. 5 seconds to shoot. Here's Eric Ting. Ting fires the three. Short. Rebound tipped outside and grabbed by Hank Pulver, his 8th of the day. Excuse me, 6th rebound for Hank Pulver. Peyton West bounces it into the corner, in and out of the hands of Pulver. And out of bounds. Saints ball. Here walks Eric Ting slowly down the floor. Ting and his compatriots trail by 6. Russell Tillery still looking for his first points of the game. Gives it up to Eric Ting. Ting down the baseline, loses the handle. I think Peyton West got that one from behind, and West is fouled by Lewis Holy.
St. Francis foul number 13, Lewis Holy.
First foul of the game on Holy. It's the second this half on the team. Offense has slowed down here. We saw a lot of points early. DeAndre Johnson checks in for Lewis Holy. Both offenses off to much slower starts in the second half. West looking for Hummerkaus, deflected by Ting and into the hands of Tillery. And Tillery, I think, was fouled from behind by Peyton West.
Huntington foul number 2, Peyton West, his first.
Peyton West called for his first. It's the first on the team. And they'll take it back to half court where the foul was committed. Eric Ting with 11 points passes it off to Joey Bujemi. Charles back over to Ting. Ting gets the screen from Johnson, now bounces to the rolling Johnson, who's called for the offensive foul. Lowered the shoulder, and Hank Pulver stood in and took the charge.
DeAndre Johnson, his first, team's third.
First foul on DeAndre Johnson. Saints have that three-headed monster at center, Holy, Johnson, and Anabadarte. None of them in foul trouble today. Hughes gives it to West. Peyton West shovels it off to Zach Goodline. Goodline fires the three. Off the mark, rebounded by Charles. E.J. Charles carries it down the floor himself. Here's Bujemi. Bujemi fakes left, drives right, pulls up into some trouble. He has to kick it out to Ting. 12 to shoot. Ting down low to Johnson. DeAndre Johnson fakes and gets Pulver to fall on top of him. A foul called on Hank Pulver. It's going to be his second.
Huntington foul number 11.
It's been more than 2 minutes since either team has scored in this game. That's easily the longest drought we've seen today. Caleb Middlesworth comes back off the bench, along with Joel Dyer and Spencer Bollinger. Rihanna Maxwell-Topia and Carlos Tobias are in for the Saints. Inbounded to DeAndre Johnson. Here's Eric Ting. Ting fires it for Charles. E.J. Charles works his way inside, and he's fouled going up. E.J. Charles is going to get a pair of free throws.
Forrester, foul number 23, Spencer Bollinger.
Been about a 3.5 minute scoring drought for Huntington. The Saints haven't taken huge advantage of that drought, but now they can make it as little as a 4-point game from the free throw line here as Charles misses on the first. E.J. Charles, not a great free throw shooter. He's just 4 of 8 from the line this year. And he misses them both this time, but grabs his own rebound. Nice job by Charles, fighting for that board after missing on the foul shots. And the Saints get another chance here as Bollinger is called for the kick. That resets the shot clock to 20. As Mitchell Wilson checks in for the Foresters, Zach Goodline to the bench. Goodline still sitting on just 2 points. .12 to play. 6-point game. Johnson receives the inbounds pass. Out to Ting. Eric Ting over to Carlos Tobias. Long three. Got it. Carlos Tobias from the outside. He's got 8 points. And the Saints are within 3. It's the first time it's been a one-possession game since it was 12-9. And now the Saints are looking for a big stop that could potentially give them the ball with a chance to tie as Eric Ting gets the takeaway. A three-pointer would tie the score. Ting drives. Ting with the layup. No good. Offensive rebound, DeAndre Johnson. Johnson up with the left hand. Misses. Battle for the rebound. This time won by the Foresters. Joel Dyer comes away with it. And the Foresters slow it down. They've led by as many as 14. Dyer long three. Missed it. Peyton West misses on the tip. And E.J. Charles comes away with the rebound. Dyer was open, but he was a long way from the basket early in the shot clock. Not a shot you're typically looking for. Eric Ting on the left side. Ting around the screen at the free throw line. Kicks it out to Tobias through his hands. Tobias sticks with it. Into Johnson. 4 to shoot. Johnson out to Eric Ting. Ting's got to get a shot off. He does. And hits off the back rim. No good. Rebounded by Peyton West. Lob down for Mitchell Wilson. Wilson makes the catch. Gives it to the cutting Bollinger, who misses the layup. And Tobias grabs the rebound. Huntington now over 5 minutes without a point. Saints trail by 3. Rihanna Maxwell-Topia in possession. Bounced outside the three-point line to DeAndre Johnson. Here's E.J. Charles on the left wing. Charles has just 10 seconds to get a shot off. E.J. Charles over to Maxwell-Topia for 3. It's short. Rebounded by Caleb Middlesworth. Subs waiting at the table for both sides. It's been a while since we've had a stoppage, and Peyton West calls timeout. 12:04 to go, second half. 23 on the shot clock for Huntington. When we come out of this timeout, the Foresters lead by 3. And they've led pretty much the entire game. Two teams traded baskets coming out of the opening tip, but that didn't last too long. It was because Huntington went on a 14-0 run after the Saints had led 9-7. 9-7 is the last time St. Francis did lead. They've held 2 leads today, but for a grand total of 42 seconds. So this one really has been all Huntington. They were up 27-13. That was in the first half when it seemed like they couldn't miss a shot. The Saints followed that up with a 9-0 run, and it's been within single digits ever since. This is as close as it's been since very early on. 53-50. Defenses have really tightened up here in the second half. In the first half, Huntington shot 59% from the field. St. Francis 50%. Here in the second half, the Foresters have gone just 3 of 8 shooting, and the Saints are 4 of 12. So nowhere near the same numbers we saw during the first half. Huntington, which at one point was shooting 75% on three-pointers, is 0 for 3 here in the second half, and that's what you're more accustomed to seeing against a St. Francis defense that allows only 3 three-pointers per game. They go with a little weave action out of the timeout. Here's Goodline on the drive, blocked by Johnson, but Tobias got him from behind. It's a big-time block from DeAndre Johnson and a clean one, but Tobias makes contact from behind Zach Goodline, and that sends Goodline to the free throw line. 4th foul on St. Francis. It's the 1st on Carlos Tobias, and Goodline goes back to the free throw line where he's 2 of 2 today. And he makes it. I guess with a name like Goodline, you have to be good shooting free throws, from the line. Hasn't converted a field goal yet today, but he does now have 4 points. The lead is back to 5 for Huntington. That ends a nearly 6-minute scoring drought. Still been a long time since they've hit one from the field. Here's Tobias for 3. He got it. Carlos Tobias is hot. 11 points. 3 three-pointers now for Tobias. Huntington looking for the answer. It's Pulver outside to Goodline. Zach Goodline drives from the left side, misses on the runner. And a loose ball foul is called on E.J. Charles. 11:22 showing on the clock. The Foresters will get another chance here. Saints have 7 offensive rebounds today to Huntington's 2. So it's typically been one and done for Huntington, but the foul gives them new life here. With 20 on the shot clock, they'll reset the possession from underneath the basket. They wipe up a wet spot before Zach Goodline prepares to inbound here. Goodline's pass is lobbed into Middlesworth. He's got a game-high 21 points. Goodline works around Tobias, blocked by Charles. E.J. Charles comes in from the backside and sends it away. The Saints can tie or take the lead here, but Charles, a little overzealous, knocks it out of bounds. Charles got the big block on the defensive end. He looked like he was fired up and just played a little bit too quickly on the offensive side, losing the handle on the ball and knocking it out. And there's an offensive foul on Huntington, a moving screen.
Number 11, Hank Pulver.
Hank Pulver is called for the moving violation. That's his 3rd foul, 4th on the team. Pulver becomes the first player on either side with 3 fouls in this one. Here's Nadav Gerner across half court. Gerner bounces off to Maxwell Topia. Now Gerner around the screen from Johnson. Out to Tobias. Bounced in the post, DeAndre Johnson. Johnson backs in, kicks it out to Charles. Charles layup, yes, and a foul.
Count the basket for E.J. Charles.
We're tied at 55, and Charles can give the Saints the lead.
Foul called on number 2, Peyton West, his second.
It's the second foul on Peyton West. The Saints have not led since 9-7. They can change that right here. And they do not. Charles 0 of 3 from the line now as Rehana Maxwell Topia is called for the over-the-back foul.
Rehana Maxwell Topia, his first, team 6th.
So the Saints have hit their limit with their 6th foul. It's the first on Maxwell Topia. Here's Zach Goodline with the ball. Goodline gets across half court. Picks up a screen. Now passes back to Middlesworth for 3. It's good. First three-pointer of the half for Huntington. That's their first field goal in over 7 minutes. And it gives them the lead back. Here's Johnson. Kicked out to Gerner. Tobias in the corner. Carlos Tobias picks it up, stripped, gets it back, and dribbles outside. Gerner cuts inside, gets it to Charles. Charles, contact, yes! And a foul.
Got the basket for E.J. Charles. E.J.
Charles is getting to the basket consistently here in the second half. He's got 10 points now. It's a new season high for Charles. In fact, he had his season high by halftime. Aitor Anabadarte comes on for DeAndre Johnson. And Charles has a chance to tie the game from the free throw line. He's 0 of 3 from the line so far. But he makes this one. We're tied at 58. So we've got a ball game here with 10 minutes to play. 58 all. Huntington scored on their last possession as Goodline works his way inside. No good. Offensive rebound, Pulver. Pulver kicks it back out. Three-point attempt is good for Middlesworth. Caleb Middlesworth has hit back-to-back threes. Both times after St. Francis had come back to tie the score. There's a foul called on the Foresters. It's on Goodline. It's the second on Zach Goodline, and it sends the Saints into the bonus. Nadav Gerner to the line for a 1-and-1. Gerner makes the first one. We were tied at 55 and again at 58. That snapped a run of about 26 minutes consecutively in which Huntington held the lead. Carter Fahey comes in for the Fighting Saints. E.J. Charles grabs a seat on the bench. Charles has come up huge so far today, having his best game of the season by far. Gerner's second foul shot is good. He makes them both. It's a one-point game. Huntington has the ball with a 1-point lead, 9.5 minutes to play. Goodline walks it to the right side, passes back to Middlesworth, and Middlesworth is fouled by Aitor Anabadarte. In the first half of this game, we only saw 12 total fouls called. Second half has been a different story. Both teams are already in the bonus with 9:22 to play. And so free throws could play a huge factor in this game coming down the stretch. Huntington is a 74% foul shooting team on the season. Middlesworth makes the first of a 1-and-1 here. St. Francis is a little bit better at 77%. Today, though, Huntington has had the edge as Middlesworth makes them both. They haven't missed. They're 6 of 6. St. Francis 8 of 13 from the line. Carlos Tobias, wide open three. Good. Carlos Tobias has been outstanding from beyond the arc today. He's 4 of 4 on three-pointers, but Huntington left him wide open that time. Here's Goodline for the answer. And Goodline, for the first time today, scores from the field. Every time the Saints tie it up, Huntington has a response on their very next possession. There's Gerner off to Tobias. Gerner with 15 to shoot, gives it up to Maxwell Topia. Johanna Maxwell Topia passes it out of bounds. I think he was looking for Anabadarte, but got it right between him and Fahey. And straight out for the turnover. 8:37 to play, 2-point lead for Huntington. Huntington has the ball. Here's Goodline, 6 points in the game. Off to Peyton West. Middlesworth finds Bollinger on the right wing. And a foul on Aitor Anabadarte. Got tangled up with Caleb Middlesworth. And Middlesworth, who already has 29 points today, is off to the free throw line to attempt 2 more. It'll be a 1-and-1. Middlesworth is 83% from the line this year. And he misses the first of a 1-and-1. First missed free throw of the game for Huntington. Comes at a big time in the first shot of a 1-and-1. Joey Bajemi still hasn't scored today. He's got the ball as he passes off to Tobias. Now Bajemi again. Joey Bujemi faked right. Now he fires the three and misses. Just hasn't had his shot today. Bujemi scored at least 16 points in each of his first 4 games. In the last 3 games, he's got 12 points total. That ball between the hands of Bollinger, and the loose ball picked up by Fahey. Ahead for Tobias. Tobias shovels to Anna Bedarte. Layup good and one.
Count the basket for Aitor Anna Bedarte.
Anna Bedarte has got a career-high 11 points. And now to the free throw line, looking to add one more. Aitor Anna Bedarte had 10 points this season in the first 6 games. Today he's got 11 points, and he's at the line to try to give St. Francis their first lead since they were up 9-7. He does. Saints lead 66-65. Now we'll see if they can come up with a defensive stop. Huntington has been really good today at responding every time they've faced adversity, and they do it again right here. St. Pulver lays it in, and Huntington is back in front, 67-66. Gearing up to be a very entertaining last 7 minutes here as Eric Ting passes off to Carlos Tobias on the right side. Anna Bedarte back to Tobias, right wing 3. For the first time today, he misses on a 3-point attempt. He had made his first 4. And Huntington takes over, up by a point. Pulver bounces once, gives it to Goodline. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Goodline, long 3. In and out, rebounded by Fahey. Carter Fahey bounces it outside and passes off to Eric Ting. Ting eschews the screen, goes to the left side instead. The reverse layup is good. Eric Ting has his first points of the second half. 13 in the game for Ting. Saints are back in front. 4th time today they've held a lead. They've not been able to hold it for longer than 1 possession so far. Can they change that here? It's a drive from Pulver. Pulver misses on the runner. Rebound Anna Bedarte, and the Saints for the first time all game have the ball with the lead. Eric Ting, guarded outside by Dyer, passes off to Tobias. Now Fahey. To Bujemi, bounced down low to Anna Bedarte. Nearly lost it, chases it back beyond the 3-point line. Now Anna Bedarte drives, spins, layup, yes, and a foul. How about Aitor Anna Bedarte? 14 points for the freshman. And the Saints have their biggest lead of the game, 70-67. Russell Tillery back on the floor for St. Francis. Lewis Holy will check in for Anna Bedarte if he makes this free throw. 0 for 2 from the line coming into today this season. He's 3 of 3 in this game. And he makes another one. 15 points. Anna Bedarte leading the team. He heads out. Holy back in. Saints by 4. 5:55 to play. Here's Peyton West. Around to the left side. Van Humrichhaus. West with 11 to shoot. Holds it on the left wing. Driving on Ting. Picks it up. Passes outside. 3-point attempt from Pulver is an air ball. Rebounded by Bujemi. Saints have all the momentum now as they try to expand a 4-point lead. Joey Bujemi backs it up. Bounces to Lewis Holy. Holy picks up his dribble and gives it to Eric Ting. Ting pulls up at the free throw line. His jumper misses off to the left. The rebound goes to Middlesworth. The Foresters will try to make it a 1-score game here, and we've got a timeout called by Huntington. 5:01 to play in this game. 71-67. St. Francis leads. It is a full timeout. And Huntington try to get a grasp on this thing. They were shooting the roof off here in the first half. In the second half, they have struggled to put the ball in the basket quite a bit. 7 of 13 shooting on 3-pointers in the first half. Here in the second, they're just 2 of 7. Their field goal percentage for the game has dropped down to 52%. still a good number, but considering how they started, it shows how they've slowed down. They're shooting just about 35% since halftime. And more than that, they've been turning the ball over as well. They've got 7 second half turnovers that have hurt them, and the Saints have capitalized. St. Francis up by 4 points. They've trailed almost the entire game. They were up a couple of times early, but for all intents and purposes, they were down all the way until a couple of minutes ago when they reclaimed the lead at 65, 63. I don't have it written down. I'm trying to remember exactly when they took the lead. I think it was at 65, 63, right around that area. And now for the first time all game, they're ahead by 2 possessions. It is Huntington ball coming out of the timeout. It's been a fun game, particularly the second half if you're a St. Francis booster. They've come up with some big stops, and we'll see if they can do it again with Huntington looking to get a handle on this thing. Peyton West passes off to Middlesworth, over to Humrickhouse on the left wing. Humrickhouse gives it to Goodline, top of the key, 10 to shoot. Goodline against Tillery, travels. 13th turnover of the game for Huntington. 8 of them have come in the second half. And now the Saints have a chance to extend their advantage. This is Fahey on the left wing. Up top, Tillery. Down to the corner, Joey Bujemi. Bujemi gives it back to Tillery. Tillery drives, pulls up with a left hand, can't convert. Put back is good, Lewis Holy. Holy's got 8 points, all of them here in the second half, and the Saints lead by 6. Holy pokes the ball away from Middlesworth, who gets it back. Now Peyton West. West down low to Pulver with a layup. Good possession for Huntington at a time where they desperately needed to score. They're able to put 2 more on the board. Pulver's got 12 points. 73-69 our score with under 4 minutes to play. Carter Fahey down low to Holy. Holy, one step, misses with the left hand. Rebounded by Pulver. And now Huntington's got a chance. Goodline backs it up near the midcourt circle. Goodline crosses over on Tillery, uses a screen to the left side, still beyond the perimeter. Now it's Pulver. 12 to shoot for Goodline. Goodline double team, bounces off to Pulver. Pulver thought about the 3, instead he drives. Kicks to Peyton West. The 3-pointer is good. Peyton West from the outside. West has been a great distributor today. Hasn't been all that involved in the scoring, but that 3-pointer now gives him 7 points for the game. And the Saints lead is down to 1. West comes away with a steal, but he rolls out of bounds. Great athletic move initially by Peyton West. Couldn't quite keep it alive, but a heck of an effort. Still Saints ball, 17 to shoot. They're going to reset the shot clock to 20. E.J. Charles and DeAndre Johnson come in for St. Francis. Joey Bujemi is the inbounder. Lobbed in for Charles, who's had a big game today. Charles and Annabet Arte have come off the bench and really led the charge for the Fighting Saints in this game. Russell Tillery pulls up at the free throw line, out to Bujemi. Bujemi works his way inside, and a blocking foul is called on Huntington. First 4 games this year, Joey Bujemi was the Saints' leading scorer. In the last 2 games, Russell Tillery has been their second leading scorer. Today, the 2 of them have combined for 0 points, and yet St. Francis leads in the final minutes. Bujemi looking for his first point of the game, and he's got it. He does not miss often from the free throw line, and that was no exception. Saints are in the double bonus now. First point of the game for Joey Bujemi. 74-72 St. Francis, 2:48 on the clock. One more free throw for Joey Bajemi. It's good. Saints lead by 3. Here comes Peyton West. West on the right wing, stripped by Ting, and Eric Ting picks up the loose ball. He gets the steal. Down the floor to Charles, who gives it to Bajemi. Layup, no. Battle for the rebound. Charles on the floor, wraps it up, and he calls timeout. Great hustle play by E.J. Charles. So the Saints were unable to score on the fast break. They get the ball back, though, and they'll get another chance with 2:28 on the clock coming out of this timeout. We got a good basketball game going here. 75-72, Saints lead in the final 2.5 minutes. The Saints have trailed the majority of the way, but a strong second half in which they have outscored Huntington by 9 points has them in the driver's seat here very late. Saints have been led by their bench. Eric Ting does have 13 points, but other than that, their top 3 scorers are reserves. Aitor Anabadartse, 15. Carlos Tobias, 14. E.J. Charles has 11 points, and he's also chipped in with 7 rebounds to lead the team. Really impressive showing today from Charles and Anabadartse. Tobias has been outstanding shooting the basketball, 4 of 5 on 3-pointers. And it has really been the bench of St. Francis today that has carried the day, but that's really by design. Their starters have changed a few times since the opening game of the season. Ryan Marks has mixed things up a little bit. It's a very deep team, a very balanced offensive team. Coming into play today, their leading scorer was averaging only 13.7 points per game, but the team was averaging around 75. Eric Ting to inbound out of the timeout. Into Tobias with 18 on the shot clock. Tobias bounces inside. DeAndre Johnson triple teamed. He's fouled by Peyton West. And DeAndre Johnson is going to head to the free throw line.
Number 2, Peyton West, his 3rd.
Johnson is a 64% foul shooter. He can make this a 2-score game by making just 1 of 2. And he makes the first. 4 points for DeAndre Johnson today. He's got them both. Five-point lead for St. Francis. It's their biggest of the game. Let's see if Huntington can respond here. It's Zach Goodline getting the screen to the right side. Goodline, runner is no good. Rebound to E.J. Charles. We approach the 2-minute mark here in the second half, and the Saints have a 5-point lead and the ball. Here's Charles up to Tillery. Russell Tillery drives. Tillery off the glass, no good. Wanted a foul called. No such luck. Here's West, poked away from behind. West falls on the floor, keeps it alive to Goodline. Goodline's pass deflected and stolen by Charles. Now the Saints have numbers. E.J. Charles takes it in himself, misses, no foul called, and the rebound is grabbed by Bollinger, who flings it down the floor. Ting knocks it out of bounds, and that'll slow things down a little bit, which is good. Things were getting out of control a bit. It's also good that there's a stop in the action because there's an injured man down for Huntington, and they will have a look at him. It's Caleb Middlesworth, who I believe went down after taking the contact from E.J. Charles on that fast break a moment ago. And he's lying on his back along the baseline right now, hasn't gotten up, and looks like the training staff is looking at his lower right leg. Middlesworth has 29 points today. He has been huge for Huntington in this game. Hasn't hit too many big shots here these last few minutes as the Foresters have found themselves falling behind. Probably not a coincidence that they started to lose their lead when Middlesworth stopped hitting their shots. They really haven't had anybody else they've been able to count on in the clutch today. This is a team that has 5 different players averaging 10 points or more on the season. Today, only 2 men have scored in double figures. Middlesworth with 29, and then Hank Pulver, who has 12 points on 6 of 8 shooting. But Zach Goodline, who scores 18 a game, has been held to 6 today. Ben Humrickhouse scores 11 a game. He's got only 4. Peyton West hasn't quite hit his scoring average, but he's having a great game. West has 7 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, and has shot the ball pretty well. Middlesworth is up, and he's walking off the floor on his own without any help, so that's a very positive sight for the Huntington University Foresters, but he will have to sit down presumably for a little bit, if not the rest of the game. Only 89 seconds remain in the second half. So barring overtime, I doubt that we'll see Middlesworth again today. You never know. Foresters trail by 5. Joel Dyer is the inbounder. Dyer looking for Pulver. It's deflected away by Charles and out of bounds. So they'll inbound again from the corner. 2 seconds ran off the clock during that sequence there. Still plenty of time for Huntington to find a good shot here. Good line. Gets it in this time to Pulver. Back to Dyer, and Dyer sets things up. Dyer, top of the key to Bollinger. Bollinger throws it away. He was looking for Pulver. Pulver turned to set the screen, and the ball whizzed right by him. Huge turnover right there, and an unforced one for the Foresters. And now if the Saints can score on this possession, they're going to make it awfully difficult for Huntington to come back as Carter Fahey comes on for E.J. Charles. Fahey finds Russell Tillery on the opposite end of the floor. And Tillery will eat up some clock here. Goodline knocks the ball away from him out of bounds. The Saints will inbound from the sideline. This 5-point lead is the biggest that the Saints have held today. They were down by as many as 14. Trailed the vast majority of this game. Inbounded to Tillery, who's immediately fouled by Goodline. So Russell Tillery goes to the line for 2 shots. And if he's able to make either of these free throws, it'll be his first point of the game. Tillery 9 of 11 from the stripe this year. First foul shot rattles around and falls. 78-72. One more free throw for Russell Tillery. This would make it a 3-score game. And he does. 7 points. The Saints lead with 1:09 on the clock. Zach Goodline picks up the ball and comes across half court. Back to Middlesworth. Middlesworth for 3, no good. So Middlesworth checked back into the game after missing just 20 seconds. Not able to recapture his stroke, though, as Eric Ting is fouled, and the Saints have a chance to put this game away, essentially, right here. A 7-point lead with 58 seconds left, and the way this game was going for a long time, didn't seem likely that St. Francis would get to this point in the game with this big a lead, but here we are. Great effort by the Fighting Saints throughout, as Eric Ting makes his first free throw. The lead is up to 8, and down the stretch, when it's counted the most, the Saints are not missing from the line. They're now 17 of 22 as a team. Eric Ting's second free throw gives him 15 points for the game. And now the Foresters need to score quickly. Good line. Gives it to Pulver. Pulver couldn't get it initially. He's able to track it down just in front of the sideline. Here's Peyton West on the drive. He's fouled by Ting. Huntington has shot their free throws well today, but they haven't had nearly as many opportunities as St. Francis has. They're 6 of 7 from the line. First one is good from West. Carlos Tobias is back in for the Saints as they bring an extra shooter on the floor. expecting to most likely get fouled once they get the ball back. West has one more free throw. That would make it a 7-point game. And he does. Timeout called by Huntington. 45.4 seconds on the clock. 81-74 St. Francis. Huntington 8-2 on the season. Saints are trying to give them their third loss of the year. Huntington escaped with a win the last time out. A game that came down to the wire. They were able to pick up a 1-point victory. They withstood a 3-shot barrage in the final 10 seconds of that game. They were not able to get the defensive rebound that they needed during those final 10 seconds, but just barely able to hold on to the lead today. They have not been able to hold on to their lead for the majority of the game. Couldn't hold on against St. Francis, and now the Saints have a chance to wrap it up from the free throw line most likely, as Tillery is fouled by Pulver. Quick foul.
Huntington foul number 11, Hank Pulver, is fourth.
It's the fourth foul on Pulver. And Tillery goes to the free throw line. 2 shots for Russell Tillery, who scored his first points of the game just 26 seconds ago. Tillery's first shot is good, and I've talked about it a lot, but for good reason. It's been unlikely sources today. The bench has really stepped up for St. Francis. Joey Bajemi and Russell Tillery, who have been 2 of their top 3 scorers recently, have not scored from the field. Neither man scored until the last couple of minutes, and all of their combined points have come from the free throw line. For Bajemi, that's 2, and for Tillery, 4 points now, including that one. Among the usual suspects offensively, Eric Ting was the only one who really had a shot going at all today. And yet it looks like the Saints are going to get out of here with a victory as Tillery pokes the ball free from Goodline out of bounds. 3 of their top scorers have come off the bench. Aitor Anabedarte, Carlos Tavias, and E.J. Charles. Goodline's three-pointer rims out. Rebound Lewis Holy. Let's see if they foul here. Eric Ting across to E.J. Charles. And they do commit the foul. Caleb Middlesworth sends Charles to the line with 18.6 on the clock. St. Francis was 4-1. They dropped a non-conference game to a conference opponent on Wednesday, a 5-point loss to St. Ambrose. E.J. Charles' free throw rims in. Everybody's hitting their free throws now. Saints just could not put the ball in the basket on Wednesday. They shot just 37% from the game. Charles misses on the second. Today they have remedied that, shooting close to 50% throughout this one and avoiding back-to-back losses apparently as Peyton West lays it in. Inbounded to Joey Bajemi, who gets across half court. And he's fouled with 6.4 on the clock in an 8-point game. So it looks like Huntington will take their 3rd loss of the season today, but a great start to the season for a team that finished below 500 last year. New coach Corey Alford, who assisted his father Steve at Nevada last year. Bajemi misses on the first free throw. And with the new coaching staff, Huntington is off to a great start this year. But they'll leave the Chicago area with a loss today as Bajemi makes the second free throw. Peyton West takes it down the floor, looking for his 10th assist of the game, and Dyer misses on the three-pointer. There's your final 85-76. I don't know if Lewis Holy grabbed that rebound before the buzzer or not, but the Saints come away with the 9-point victory. A very impressive second half for the Fighting Saints. They trailed by 6 at intermission, and they dominated the second half of play. They kept fighting back and fighting back. They came back to tie it, briefly took a 1-point lead a couple of times, and Huntington just consistently had an answer. And then finally, St. Francis was able to break through, get a couple of baskets in a row, and Huntington had no response to that. The Foresters shot the ball extremely well in the first half, not so much in the second half. They were not able to get into that same kind of rhythm. First half, they shot 59% overall. In the second half, they went just 10 of 25 overall. And on three-pointers, after going 7 of 13 in the first half, they were 3 of 11 in the second half. And that's been one of St. Francis's calling cards all year, is just their incredible three-point defense. It finally showed up again in the second half. As for the Saints, they shot the ball well in the first half. They continued to shoot it well in the second half, 47% for the game, 39% on three-pointers. The Saints had 4 players in double figures. Eric Ting and Aitor Anabadarte tied for a team lead with 15 points. They got 14 off the bench from Carlos Tobias, 12 points, 8 rebounds from E.J. Charles in a reserve role. Lewis Holy chipped in 8 points, all in the second half. Huntington was led by Caleb Middlesworth. Middlesworth finished the game with 29 points. Peyton West had a big game for Huntington as well, 11 points, 9 assists, and 5 rebounds. The Saints out-rebounded Huntington today, 34-30 overall. They also committed just 11 turnovers, including only 4 in the second half. Huntington finished the game with 16 turnovers, 11 of them came in the second half. With the victory, St. Francis is now 5-2 on the season. Huntington falls to 8-3. The Fighting Saints will be back at it in about 10 days. Or exactly 10 days, I guess. They'll take on Mount Vernon Nazarene on December 29th. That'll be an afternoon game as a part of a 2-day event. That'll be day 1 of that 2-day event for St. Francis, coming up between Christmas and New Year's, so they'll get a break for the week with Christmas coming up this weekend. A couple last looks at today's stats. 50-14. St. Francis's bench outscored the bench of Huntington. Probably the biggest difference of the game. And the other big stat, I mentioned the turnovers. Scoring off of turnovers, St. Francis 21, Huntington 9. So really nice game for St. Francis today. They outscored Huntington 44-29 in the second half. And that's going to do it for our broadcast of this one, but we are back at it with all of the home games for the Fighting Saints this year. We'll have the broadcast for you through the St. Francis YouTube channel, so make sure you've got that one bookmarked. And as always, you can go to GoFightingSaints.com for a full schedule of St. Francis men's and women's basketball. That'll do it for me from the Sullivan Center and Joliet, Illinois. St. Francis defeats Huntington 85-76. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off for the University of St. Francis. Good night, all.